Hi, my name is Skip Edwards. I'm with American Decorative Concrete. Today we're going to show you how to apply the Surelock dye. It's our new water-based dye. We're going to show you how to prepare the surface, and how to get a nice shine out of it, and using a water-based product that has no odor to it, and it's environmentally friendly. One of the things that we did to the floor is we started with a metal diamond, which was a 70 grit. We went through a 70 grit metal diamond. We went through a 30 grit, a 50 grit, and a 100 grit resin. So we have the floor up to 100. And the reason why we only brought it up to 100 is because the floor is actually a medium floor. At floor hardness is where you need to really watch it, because if you have a super hard floor, you're going to have a hard time for the color penetration. So you need to watch that. If you have a soft floor, then you wouldn't bring it up to a higher grit, like a 200 grit. So understanding the floor hardness makes a big difference when you're applying color. So, and you mostly can tell that by how your metal diamonds are cutting. So you need to watch that. So here we have our floor that we went ahead and we ground and brought it up to 100 grit, and we cleaned it with an auto scrubber. That is key. You want to clean up your floor with we have a battery powered auto scrubber here. It works real good. You want to get it clean because you want to stain the actual concrete surface, not the remaining dust. So if you're mopping dust and doing that kind of stuff, that usually doesn't do it, because it leaves a lot of dust in the floor. So auto scrubber is a great way to do it. You can do the mop thing, it just takes a long time. So time is money. The dye comes in a concentrated form. It's a liquid dye ready to use. Basically, you're going to take the dye and dump it in a gallon of water. Now you can dump it in any water. It doesn't need to be a special bottle like this. Just any water, any tap water will work just fine. So we'll go ahead and mix up the dye with the water. And then in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and mask this area off, because we want a nice little square here. So I'm going to go ahead and mask it off real quick. Okay, we're going to go ahead and use the Surelock dye system here by American Decorative Concrete. It's a concentrated form of dye, and you're going to add it to a gallon of water. And then our next step is going to be going ahead and using the Surelock densifier. It's also a concentrated form of densifier. We're going to do at a stage after 400 grit, we're going to use what's called densy color. We're going to take the diluted dye and add it to the densifier. That's why we sell it to you in a concentrated form. And after we're done polishing up with our polishing steps, we're going to go ahead and use the Surelock stain protector. That gives you the gloss, the clarity, and the stain resistance that you need to protect your floor with. And then maintenance side, this is important as well. Maintaining the floor with the rejuvenating cleaner. You don't want to use any cleaner on the floor, because it'll just destroy your floor, and you'll see that the shine will disappear over time. This is a big thing to have as far as maintenance goes. There's a lot of cleaners out there that are acidic, and they will etch your floor over time, and that's why you see some of these polished concrete floors that are dying over time, because they're using the wrong cleaner. And then, most important of all things too, is the Patriot 600. It's a water-based sprayer. It's battery powered. Nice feature is that you don't have to pump it. Maintains a pressure between 40 to 60 psi. Puts out the right amount of product on the floor. There's a lot of sprayers. If you go get a pump sprayer, you're going to over apply the product. There's going to be too much product on the floor, and you just create a mess. You don't get the square footage, so you're really not getting the cost per square foot down like you should be. And that all happens through this tip. This tip is a special tip. It's a cone jet tip that sprays out the right amount of material on the floor. We use that sprayer through all these products except for the cleaner. The cleaner, you can mix it up. It's a concentrated form of cleaner to clean the floor. So we're going to show you today and demonstrate the sprayer, the color, the densifier, stain protector, and how to maintain the floor. So we'll show you the whole system when we're all done here. Okay, we have the Surelock dye by American Decorative. We already have some mixed up in a gallon of water. We're going to go ahead and simply dump this in the Patriot 600. One of the things that you do want to do is make sure that you wear gloves. It is dye, because if you get it all over your hands, it takes some time for it to come off. So make sure you wear gloves. As you see, we carefully masked off an area, a little square area. If you have walls in all your surroundings, you definitely want to make sure they're masked off, because once you stain them, it's not coming out. So we're going to go ahead and Dump it in our Patriot 600. One of the nice features about this sprayer too as well is it has a strainer at the top. So it keeps everything from getting inside your pump. Then what we're going to do is go ahead and prime the system here. So what I usually just turn on the switch. And the last time we were done, we cleaned it out with water, so we just want to make sure it's all cleaned out real good. We got color going through here. Once we get our color going, so as you see, the cart rolls around, really easy to use. So what we're going to do is go ahead and spray it on. Now you want to fog the color on. You do not want to over apply it. Most people over apply it. So you can see the tip, how fine it's putting it out, how fast the sprayer. The sprayer will do about 80,000 square feet on a single charge. So this is our water-based color, no odor, no smell. You can see the vibrancy of it. So the difference between water-based is it just takes longer for it to dry. In a later video, we're going to go ahead and show you how we're going to apply the acetone-based product. So if you hold the wand about 12-18 inches above the slab and fog it on there. So now we're just going to wait for this to dry. So it takes usually about 10-15 minutes. Depends on the slab. Depends on if the slab's a hard slab, soft slab. Unfortunately, we've ground this slab many times, so it'll probably take a little bit longer to dry. So we'll come back to phase 2. Okay, we just went ahead and ground it with a 400 grit resin. As you see, there's dust on the floor. It did cut some of the color. That is normal with it. Believe it or not, a lot of people think that, oh wow, I just cut all the color off. Well, no, that's not the case. You're just applying the first coat of color in at 100 grit because the pores are very porous. So that way you get maximum penetration with color. That's the key to all this. That's why sometimes if you put it at 200 grit on a hard floor, you're not going to get that penetration you would as if you would put it at 100. So that's where you got to understand the hardness of your floor and understanding where to color your floor at, either 100 or 200 grit. So we're going to go ahead and clean this floor now with an auto scrubber, and we're going to use a white pad on this, and a white pad only, no reds, no blacks, none of that stuff. Make sure that, because those pads are very abrasive, so make sure you clean it really well. And then we're going to go ahead and remask it again, and then apply the densy color, and basically we're going to mix the diluted color that we have to the densifier 1:1. Now we're going to densify the floor and color it at the same time. That's the beauty of it. So you're really not doing any extra steps that you would think that you would normally do before. And it's all green product. Hi and welcome back. We're going to go ahead and show you how to apply what we call the densy color. Just to kind of go over what we just did, we went ahead and ground the floor with 400 grits after we applied our Surelock dye. And then cleaned it up with an auto scrubber. Again, we want to use an auto scrubber to pick up all the residual residue and that kind of stuff. That way you're not staining the dust on the floor. We went ahead and masked it off again for you, so you have a nice little picture frame square here. And we're going to simply take our diluted color that we used on here and mix it with our Surelock densifier. And we're going to mix that 1:1. So I've already mixed up some, so it's ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and dump that in my sprayer, and then we're going to go ahead and spray it out on the floor. And we're going to wait for that to completely dry 100%. Why? Because we want the densifier to react with the floor, and we want color penetration as well. You don't want to microfiber it. Some guys microfiber it. I don't like to microfiber it. I like to just spray it on there, let it react, let it do its thing. Microfibering it kind of puts it on too thin, and it doesn't let the full reaction happen that needs to happen with concrete. It's a lithium densifier, by the way, and it'll take us about 5 minutes, and we'll be back on it again. And again, we're going to go ahead and use the Patriot 600. Go ahead and prime it. Sprayer is really cool. It's easy, fast. The same thing, fog on your color. Little circles. If you notice, you kind of want to be kind of random. You don't want to do like a back and forth pattern on the floor. So we're actually densifying and coloring at the same time. No odor, no smell. Do this in the middle of the day around customers. They're not going to bother you. Now, if you're using water-based versus acetone and you're trying to do decorative lines, you don't want to use water-based for that because the water-based will bleed underneath the tape. So we're going to go ahead and wait about 10-15 minutes and let this dry and get back on it again. Hi, and welcome back. We just got done pulling up the masking tape. We waited till the densy color was dry, which is our color that's been diluted, added into our densifier, which you mix 1 part diluted color to 1 part densifier, straight densifier, and then you'll have what we call densy color. We went ahead and sprayed that in after the 400 grit, let it dry, and pulled up the masking tape, and then we went ahead and cleaned it with an auto scrubber. It's very key that you clean it with an auto scrubber and a white pad and white pad only. You want to clean up all the residual dye that's on the floor that the densifier will create. And the reason why you want to do that is because when you're polishing with your 800 grit diamonds, the dye residue can get into your diamonds and clog them up. So you want to definitely make sure that you clean off the residual. Some guys use a mop bucket. Again, you can do it that way. Time is money. Just takes longer. We like to use an auto scrubber. You can get it done and get in and get out. So we're going to go ahead and hit it with the 800 grit resin. And then we're going to go ahead and go to a 1500 grit resin. And then we're going to go ahead and show you how to apply the Surelock stain protector and go ahead and burnish it out with a burnishing pad.